Vibe Show 97.9 in full effect. Sorry about the delay, but it's the Hollywood business, baby. We're in the radio business. Y'all know how it go. Technical difficulties, but guess what? It's well worth it. Listen, man, when we talk about hip hop, you got to mention this king right here. When we're talking about lyrical skill set, you got to mention this OG right here. I definitely put him in the lyrical GOAT category. Definitely. Y'all make sure that y'all keep it locked in. It's the Vibe Show 97.9 OG edition. Vibe Show 97.9, home of the most exclusive guest on the planet. Listen, tonight, without further ado, I have a special guest joining us on the show tonight, talking about this guy here is definitely a GOAT. I'm talking about the one and only. Y'all help me welcome the OG, K Solo. What's up, OG?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Look, man, I got to thank you for me and the Vibe team, Vibe Promotions. We want to thank you so much for this amazing opportunity, man. This really means a lot to get some of your time with us, man. Thank you. You got a lot to talk
man,
about,
it's all good to be here, man. It's good to be here, man, with the people.
Yeah, everybody been waiting on this one, man. They've been waiting on it. I've talked about my phone.
That's what's up.
That's what's paying homage, man, and paying homage and paying respect, man, for all the work and the doors that you've opened up for so many different people. We got a lot to talk about, so I want to jump in that old time machine and I want to go back a little bit because it's interesting. You've been putting in work for quite a long time, and I've been a fan since you've hit the scene. Just spitting with that dope lyrical content that just intrigued me out the gate. Now, from Brentwood, New York, what I want to know is what really like inspired you to want to get into the business on a professional level?
Well, my father was a musician. When I was a kid, my father played the bass. He was a lead singer of a group called the Roller Coasters. Oh no, right. The Rollers. The Rollers. Shout out to Uncle George and Al and Harry, all his bandmates. So when I was very young, my father would take me to his rehearsals.
Right.
We would be dipping through Harlem, because my father was raised in Harlem. Father was good friends with a lot of them musicians like Larry Smith in the early days that were making the rap stuff. A little older. My first godfather was Teddy Roosevelt. He was the guy that played him That's My Mama. They were babysitters for me when I was a young kid. Him and Teddy used to babysit me, and then Bookman was my mother's friend. They was a high school friend, so I grew up in that era. My mother was from Queens. They met in Queens, but she was born in Brooklyn. My father was raised in Harlem, but by the way of West Virginia, and my father played music.
Right.
His father was a banjo player in West Virginia. My father learned how to play the bass. My uncle Aaron played the lead guitar. So I knew very early what a Gibson was, what a Fender bass was. They was
Right.
very particular about that brand of instrument they were using. Like we weren't allowed to play with it when we were kids. So yeah, watching my father, and I always had a knack for music, and then he wrote books too.
Okay.
So, and kind of funny that you ask these questions because in my growing up the way I grew up, it was like I had a very, very weird to me. Now it was kind of different life because my father was a musician, truck driver by day, but at nighttime he put his bass on his shoulder and take his band, and he made enough money to take care of himself with the music and we give my mother the truck driving check for us. And father was pretty intelligent dude, man. Just him and my mother were very, very smart people. My mother came from Barbados. Her mother was from Barbados, but there was some Scottish. My great grandfather was Scottish, who married my great grandmother. Now this is weird. He was Scottish and part of, a Catholic, and she was Muslim. She was a Moor. So
Okay.
it's real weird how they came together, and then they had my nana. Then my nana was in the Moorish temple, and she gave birth to my mother. So my mother's father was also a Moor, but he was a Native American. He was a Comanche Cherokee. And then my father was straight, down south, black, and he was real adamant about getting on. In fact, when I was born, my father was doing the show at the Apollo
Come
the night I
on.
was born. Yeah. So I just and then growing up the way I grew up, I had all of these different mixes in my family.
Right.
So I was a little different. I wasn't like the average kid from the ghetto. Don't get me wrong. I did my little pop locking thing when Rerun came out. I was really into the Lockers
Right.
when I was
Right.
a
Right.
kid.
Right. Yeah.
The Lockers was my hero. I want to shout out to Shabba-Doo, God
Definitely.
rest in peace. He was so instrumental to me as a kid. I always wondered how it was for him being like, a marquee name and brought the first dance to the street. And I would do my little, but I was from New York, and that was the thing in California. But big fan of that movement. And
Yeah.
when I first started rapping, my father would have me take the equipment down. So when rap came out, I heard King Tim the Third, and when I heard King Tim the Third, it's just something that spoke to my spirit, and I
Right.
was rhyming the next day.
Come on.
And then Bismarck grew up with me too. So I was 8 and Bismarck was 9 when that record came out.
Oh man. Come on, man.
So Bismarck would be at the show, and no, Bismarck would be at the house, and he would never have a ride. I would beg my mother to take him home. I'd be like, "Ma, he don't got a ride. You the last," and my mother would take him home.
Right.
So yeah, I grew up in a tight unit, a tight community in Central Islip. Music was always a part of it. Guys like Amazing Air and Burgermeister they didn't make records, but they were very high class MCs that kind of honed the skills of me, EPMD, and because we all grew up in the same area, and where we came from, it was just beautiful coming from Central Islip because you gotta remember, rap wasn't on a record then. And
Right.
you would see all of these guys, Disco Richie, Divine Sounds, Parrish's brother had a group called Rock Squad. They were all everybody was trying to do the thing. And there was no negativity. It was just, back then, it was just about the music.
Right.
And, you see Bismarck trying to get there, even though Bismarck didn't have the money behind him, he had the tenacity to go anywhere he had to go.
Right. Facts.
And it was ironic that Bismarck was from our neighborhood. And to see where Bismarck, when he went with the Juice Crew, I remember, I think it was 82 or 84 when I seen Big Daddy Kane for the first time. But people would always be Semnusias with me rhyming with Biz, so they figured that was me. And I was like, nah, my name ain't Kane. We had the same kind of style, similar too.
Right.
And I remember Biz put him on, and everybody was kind of like, yo, man, you should have put KV on. They called me KV.
Right.
And Bismarck always knew, he said, something's going to, because I was boxing, rapping, he didn't know what I was really going to do.
Right.
I picked well, this would happen. I didn't pick it. It picked it for me. One day I got in trouble walking down the street and some kid says the wrong thing, and I was dealing with some stuff in that 19-year-old space, and it didn't go my way with my girlfriend. She started wandering off because it was, I guess, there was no money. I had Jack Johnson syndrome because I read Jack Johnson's biography. Every black woman that Jack Johnson dated didn't believe he was going to do anything. They didn't have no faith in him.
Right.
We're talking about 1901, not myself, but Jack Johnson. So he dated white women because they could believe something other than, they believed. In other words, they could see what he was doing.
Right.
And had some faith in him, and where the black women didn't. He would come out of training camp, come on, she was cheating with another guy on him. So at that time, which I understood, but in my case, it was the same thing. I guess nothing was happening fast enough. My girl lost interest. I was with her for 4 years. She just lost interest. She started dating other people. So, I had a couple of drinks and I'm walking down the street. I'm an avid fighter who was turning pro in about 2 years. Won a couple of amateur championships, and the guy said the wrong thing, and we had a bad night. And, lost my temper and hurt him real bad. However, when I got locked up and I was around the sewage, I knew that I was going to be someone. I knew I was better than sewage, so I just wrote. Right. And it was the first time in my life that I actually wrote, because at that time, at my age, I just freestyled.
Right.
Everything was off the head. I'd go to a show and I didn't know what I was going to say, but I was good on my head. So that was my show pattern, just freestyling. And when I got to Riverhead, and I stayed 16 months, I had nothing but time to write. And that's when Spellbound came out. And that's when Fugitive came out. And it's ironic because, when I wrote these songs, I knew it was something special, especially when I was Spellbound. I knew I had something special.
Right.
And it brought a lot of controversy, you know what I'm saying? Which it would, because it was the first song like its own. So that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Maybe the money wasn't there for the song, but the controversy that it brought that.
It brought a lot, and it brought a lot of attention as well.
It brought a lot of attention. Yeah, it was the first song of a song, but here goes again, like in the credit of my mother and father. That's something their son would have did,
Mm-hmm.
Because my parents were, how can I say it? My mother was from the Garveyite site. My father's mother was Martin Luther King's wife's first cousin. She was a Scot.
Really?
Yeah, my grandma Daisy Madison, maiden name was Daisy Scott. She's Martin Luther King's wife's first cousin. They're all from Alabama.
Right.
So I had that, upbringing in my family on both sides anyway. They were always about doing the right thing. They weren't about shabby business or, they were, strong. My mother and my father's side of the family was scholastically sound, and they were about the business. They didn't come to play. In fact, when my father moved from West Virginia, 4 of his friends moved up with him to Queens, and then they moved all together to Long Island. I grew up with a whole community of kids that we've been in each other's company ever since we were existence, and our fathers were little kids together too.
Wow, that's dope.
You know what I'm saying? So from West Virginia to Queens to Long Island, all 4 families moved together through our whole existence. So I came from a real special family, and then too, my sisters too. My sisters were offsprings of that too. They never came home with babies. They all went to college school first.
Right.
All of us became professional before we had kids. We didn't bring kids to our mother and be like, look, we didn't do that. We were always, not saying if somebody has to, that happens, but we didn't do that. We were pretty solid, and all my sisters went and got, master's degrees in education,
Right.
Then they started their family, you know what I'm saying? So we came from a real tight circle, solid people, and even all my aunts, like I had a matriarch in the family, my Aunt Pauline, she was living in Fort Greene, but she took care of a lot of people out there. She did a lot of good for the neighborhood. They wouldn't turn you away. When people come with their babies, she would watch the baby and make people go to work. She made it be responsible, but she would never turn, you away with no kid. She would help you. So I came from those kind of people. And so in my music, I wanted to make a difference. I didn't want to be the same rapper, gun in the hand and talking that rhetoric when I'm not about that. I wanted to be honest. And hip hop is about being yourself and be true to yourself. Everything else, follow, and I put God first too. First
Right.
and foremost, I always put God first in anything I did, whether it was boxing or the music industry. And, I landed on my feet, I was in a kind of tough situation at death row. Because when I got to death row, I did never experience gang culture at that level.
Yeah.
And it was my first time experiencing it. And I kind of knew, Dre had went in over his head, but it was not talked about.
Ah.
You know what I'm saying? But I respected Andre because I needed the money.
Yeah.
And I wanted to support him too. At the same token, this was his new venture. I wanted to be there for him because I met Dr. Dre at Jack the Rapper when we first started out.
Yeah.
NWA didn't have no success, and neither did the Hit Squad. I was a roadie. I met him. They was looking for Tim Dog, and me, him, and DOC just hit it off. And I always clicked with Andre because he was another intelligent, positive person.
Right.
And I was always gonna be around those kind of people, because that's who my people were. Right. I'm an offspring of them. I didn't really want to be around negative individuals that didn't have nothing to offer to a great scenario. I always wanted to be around people that I could learn something from, or just be around positive people so I didn't have to look over my shoulders.
Right.
And Dre happened to be that. Just when we got in the situation with Suge, it was like you had different gangs there. And my thing was I had got paid all the money, so I didn't have to really rap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got paid up front, so what I did was just coast. I didn't want to get paid and then still be, competing with rappers. You want to rap? Okay, go ahead, rap. You win. I was on that. Like, yeah, you want to battle? You win.
Right.
Because you got to remember the young element at that time was, they're trying to prove themselves. Everybody, I want to be the dopest rapper.
Right.
I just wanted to get paid.
Right.
At this point,
Let me ask you.
I didn't want to. And another thing too, I didn't want to get in the young kids. In other words, I didn't want to, overshadow the younger generation of Black America. I wanted them to have a shot too.
Right.
And I was very happy to see Snoop grow to those levels and handle it. I was pleased to see him handle it because when he went to the murder case, the only advice I can give him, which was solid to me, was I looked at his family Bible and I said, all the strength is there. And he looked at me and said, I keep it real. So I knew he knew what I was talking about. I wasn't worried about the defense team and all that. It was cool. Thank you. But I always put faith in God in anything. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, my thing with him was making sure he understood that. And he did. He was receptive to that Bible. He had a family Bible in his house that was in the living room. And I kept looking at it and I looked at him and I zeroed in on it and I let him know, this is where it's at.
Right.
And he gave me that look like, yeah, I know.
Right.
I had a very good relationship with him and Redman. Very it was always tough. I didn't talk to them around a lot of people. It was just one-on-one.
A real relationship.
Yeah, but I was important that I got that from him because Snoop, I loved him like family. And Redman, they're like my family. It's not more rap to them. I don't need their money, or I want them to understand my intellect and understand what they're doing when they're at. And if they need it, I'm here to help them get it too,
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was important. There was days when I would stop Snoop's tour bus in Chicago, have one of my artists, and Snoop would pull over and we'd have our conversation for an hour, then he'd go on his way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of artists like, Flo Rida, I've been around too. I have that kind of relationships with them too. I've been around all of these artists in their darkest hour though.
Talk to me about that.
Well, when I was with Flo Rida, I remember Flo Rida, he didn't get on yet. We was living in LA in Sherman Oaks. It was a lot of us. It was a lot of us all, around each other at the same time. Flavor, me, him, the Jodeci crew. And Flo Rida, he didn't have a foot on where he wanted to go with his music. He was trying to rap like we rap.
Yeah.
Which then eventually he found his niche, like what he was gonna do, which was pop rap,
Yeah.
But being there with them in those dark times, I seen Flo, clinch to his Bible and really pray to, to God. Like, I got to say, Tamari was one of those guys that wasn't a fake. He really walked with God. Like, it was not a fake thing. I saw this with my own eyes. And I'm not saying this for brownie points neither, because like I said, I don't need them for that.
Right.
I seen them actually, this is what his faith was. His whole career was built off of that. So they're all very similar in that. Like Snoop, Flo, Redman, they're built like that. Them guys get into some stuff, they're gonna pull from that. And I respect that. I would say I was privileged to be the life coach of them guys in those situations.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only advice I gave Snoop was that give it to them, give it to him. This is still cool, but this works, and he understood that. But you got to remember this too. Us as a black nation, right? 95% of them don't know the history of their own people, so they don't know why things are happening. They don't know how to reflect. It's like in a fight, you don't know how to shoulder roll, you're gonna get hit with a lot of left hooks. Right. So it's the same thing. It's just what you learn. How do you use it to further your community and move forward? How many rappers can go back to their neighborhood and give out $100,000 worth of stuff on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, you're right about that.
These are hard questions to ask because there's not a lot of people can answer them.
Right.
How many people can go out and make it out of the scenario, come back to the hood on Thanksgiving and give 100,000, and come back and give another 150,000 on Christmas?
Right.
I'm gonna be one of them. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be one of them because we put God first. We're gonna be all right.
Right.
And then two, like I said, everybody can't do that. So, and I think a lot of people would like to do that if they knew what they were doing. But remember, this is a game. This is a test.
Yeah.
So a lot of people ain't gonna get it. A lot of people ain't gonna figure it out. A lot of people. My thing is just to be real with myself and know my limitations.
Right.
I got a son who raps now, Vaughn Wolf. Me and Redman molding him. He coming along. You know what I'm saying? I want to shout out to DJ Nasty and all them in Florida. They holding them down, Finesse, a lot of people in this corner, you know what I'm saying? This kid's going to do some. But I want to say this. And the honor that I gave him was, I didn't just give him that because I was his dad. I let him work for it.
Right.
So he understands the level of commitment this takes to be this guy.
Right.
Also, he has a whole bunch of crew that he tried to put on. I was like, yo, everybody ain't going to make it. He sees now.
Mm-hmm.
He's having little gray areas with people now, and I'm saying, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't understand. He thought when he was trying to go back and say, I said, yo, stay, you got all this here. Where you are is where all your main people are. You going back to the struggle. There's a lot of people that's messed up, and God just left them there. Mm-hmm. He don't understand that. He tried to save everybody. Now he sees he can't.
Right.
You got people beefing over crazy. I'm talking about crazy stuff. Like, I'm like, yo, you can stay here, but you can't bring the girl here.
Yeah.
You're welcome in my house. You can't bring no girl up in here, lay up with no girl up in my house. You can't do that.
Right.
So they don't understand. That's what I'm saying. Some people are not raised with the values we was raised with.
Facts.
So you're gonna have a lot of people ain't gonna make it. Let me explain something to you. This is what Norman Whitfield told me. He said, you look nice. You sound nice. You can communicate well. You got model looks. You're intelligent. You on time. You ain't on drugs. You're mannerable. People like you. You need 7 things to make it. You could have all of that and don't be on time and not make it.
Right.
That one thing can crush you. So that's what I'm telling my son. I'm like, you look like a model. You on time. You can rap. But look at the crowd you around. They don't understand levels to the game. So they think you should open your door. They're going to make it. You'll help them. But you ain't married. You going to lay up with some girl in here too?
Mm.
We got a 6-year-old running around here. What are we teaching her? Not only that, This is the house of God. So how you gonna come up in here like that?
Facts.
If you do it, everybody else gonna want to do it.
Facts.
See, they don't understand. They looking at and angry because they're not where they want to be. So
Right.
a lot of people ain't gonna make it. And I don't care how good you are making music. That is not the only thing that's gonna help you make it. There's a million people walking the street that were geniuses at music.
Right.
But did you hold on to anything? Were you able to have anything after you did it? If not, then you wasn't, I don't care. You can have hit records. If you can't manage it, it ain't you. There's a lot of people that went out of here dead, came in here dead, were big people that died with nothing.
With nothing.
So that's one part. You get this. Can you do that? Can you hold yourself? Another thing, can you stop sleeping with all these women? Do you need sexual gratification for everything you do? That's another weakness of a lot of black males, not black men, black males. They're different. They get in a situation, they get some power, they want to lay with everybody.
Wow.
I'm just saying, people don't talk about this, but this is a problem in our culture. We don't want to address it because when slavery was over in 1865, people walked away and said, the Europeans said, okay, it's not legal. They walked away. They didn't fix it. And they didn't address the problems that mating people caused. Put that big buck on that woman there.
Right.
And made them. They didn't fix that. But if you and I were dog breeders, we would fix that. We'd be like, we can't breed this dog. It bites people.
Right.
They didn't fix that. So, and I just say that to say, look out for everybody ain't gonna win. Ali knew when he talked to Ali knew when he talked to Joe with Sonny Liston, he was gonna beat him. He knew he wasn't fast.
Right.
He knew he was used to dealing with people that stayed in front of him and took a punch and gave a punch. That's what he knew. He knew he wasn't used to lateral movement and feints, and he wasn't used to that. Then he also out-talked him like he was the smartest guy in the room.
Right. Facts.
So that throws people off too. So, I say that to say, our culture is not governed by itself. Still. This is why we have so many problems with our culture. This is why we have so many problems raising the next generation. This next generation is so off the hook. I don't know. I don't know what, I'm just saying that because they weren't taught the things we were taught. This is why I say I stay close to Reggie, and I respect. Even Snoop, when he got in the situation with Gail's mother, told him, she said, I didn't raise you, like he corrected himself. I respect that because there's an upbringing in these guys that comes out. His mother, Snoop's mother, it came out. She told him what she raised him like. He jumped right back in line.
Right.
Same with Redman. Like they know, like me, I know my position. I don't go over what they taught me. Like just because I got money and I'm rapping now, they still got that side to them where I like that. That's beautiful. Yeah. The young generation don't got that though.
Right. Right.
Snoop, Redman, Flo Rida, these are the last guys like that. These new guys, it's a new situation because they didn't have the teachers we had.
Right. Let me ask you, I want to ask you this. Do you think that mindset that your upbringing and the way that you came in the game, do you think that when people seen that you wasn't controllable like that and wasn't easily swayable with material things and you came in with a purpose, do you think that may have hurt your career in some type of way? Because the industry is structured a certain type of way and they want certain type of guys that they level up to the maximum levels. Do you think that may be a part of what may, because if we can't talk about lyrical, I mean, that was you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think what I think honestly. I think hip hop for me was something that I did well, and I think that when people resonate in my conversation and find out the level of conversation I bring forth and the sense and the angles I hit, I think it's important that they know I'm not trying to be like that. And I think you're right. I think I did get caught up in a situation where people were like, but I'd rather be a spoken, I'd rather people hear my voice now than we all be in bondage in the same shit. I'd rather speak up for myself and my people
Right.
than be in trouble and then be in trouble cause it's like what happened to hip hop is like, you ever see the movie A Pop the Lip Go? That's what happened to hip hop. People came and they sacrificed it. They took it, they brought the men all up on the rock and they sacrificed them in front of the people and heads were being decapitated, careers. This is what happened to careers because we don't govern it. If we governed it, it would have been a different story, but we didn't govern it. We listened to what the Europeans say about everything. When the doctor says you're sick, we listen to the doctor. The doctor got more death notes on the desk than the executioner. And we always listen to the doctor in the white robe with the white hair and the little glasses, whatever color he is, we listen to the doctor. But he got more death on his hand than anybody because he can't cure nothing. And when you listen to what he can't cure, why are we talking to him if he can't cure it? If he gives me the medicine, it treats my symptoms, but something else goes down.
Right.
I'm coming to get more medicine. They're building an economy on my sickness. Where back in the days, our people were accustomed to giving us herbs and we were cured. Dr. Sebi cured AIDS. He cured cancer. He cured Parkinson's. He cured herpes.
Alzheimer's.
And they're telling you, the Europeans are telling you, there's no cure for this. So this is what I'm tired of living this lie that they know the way for us. They don't. Christianity was an African religion. You go to change in 400,000 years, and then you let them sell you back a Bible that was written in your language in Hebrew. They changed the translation. Nobody's going to find out what it really wrote.
Right.
This is the problem with my people. The lack of knowledge and the willing and just letting people dictate the pace of them is their downfall. It's like every time you turn around, they're telling you something and you buying it. When, like I said, the holy book was written on the walls of the kings of the valley. It was written. You let them interpretate it. You call the island, the land of Assyria, which is where Black Sheba went. You let them call it Ethiopia when you know Ethiopia is a name that was named after the Greeks called it that because it meant burnt face. You calling it what they called it. You don't call it what it was really called.
Wow.
And it's like I have a different level of intelligence than most people that look like me because I don't listen to the Europeans like that. Not that I have anything against them. My great-grandfather was Scottish.
Right.
My great-grandfather would tell my great-grandmother the same thing, that he's after the truth, not what people look like.
Right.
So I'm like him. My great-grandfather and my great-grandmother were totally different in denomination, but in common sense, they shared the same values. Right. And stop looking at Santa Claus like Santa Claus gonna tell you what it is when you already know everything you need on this planet God gave you. You just gotta go find it.
Right.
We just finding out now algae is saving people from all kinds of illnesses. When we should have been investigating in that, not just cinnamon oil, caressa, myrrh, and cannabis oil is the holy oil that they're anointing everybody. Then the Europeans, they copyright it. You let them do that. They copyright it. soon as they found out there was a mistake in the Bible and they went back to your language, which was your people's language, they went back and found out they made it, and they copyrighted it. You know, it's like without businesses growing in your own defense, you'll never have nothing. You'll always be on a plantation. It's like with this rap thing.
Right.
They let the same Europeans and the Jews were saying, not all Jews, because I don't go about all Jews, I'm saying the ones that did it. Because there's some that did it, others didn't do it. I'm not talking about the great Jews that I love, and I'm not talking about them. And that's another thing I want to say. When you say something about the Jews, don't say all of them. Because it's not all of them.
Right.
That's just an ignorant statement when you say the Jews and you leave it as that. You classifying a whole bunch of people. We saying the ones that were guilty of this, saying that hip hop was not going to be here for that long.
Right, right.
So you could take control of it. See, this is the problem. They take control of everything, and then they control it, and you don't have nothing. That's the problem. So I'm not saying all Jews. I'm saying the ones that are guilty. They know who I'm talking about. Them. I'm not talking about all Jews. And like I said, I want to own my business, and I want to pass my business down to my family so my family could benefit from the toil of a business owner.
Right. You think that that's sort of like what the Locks was going through, and a lot of other artists, and you know, your Princes, your Michael Jacksons, and all these people that these masters, man, like, you know, owning your masters is everything, you know, putting in all of the work. And it's like, you know, I had Don Robinson on here, and it was shocking to know that y'all bear with me. Y'all bear with me. He fell off. We gotta get him back in here, man. Y'all, we're rapping right now with the one and only K Solo. Man, he's really, really going deep, man. It's so deep to the point that I can't even really interrupt him, man. Because like these gems and jewels that he's dropping right now, man. We gotta pick them up because it's real. It's real what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I'm loving every minute of this, man. K Solo back in the building, the one and only. Back in the building. Yeah, I you know what I was saying was Don Rob, it was shocking that, you know, they all of those millions of albums and all these sales and tours and everything, man, they were making 2 cents per album. It was
Just like Dre too. Dre was over there with Eazy-E making very low money. But this is what I'm saying. Now, can we affect change now that we're business owners now? Can we affect change so the next generation doesn't have that gap? Because that gap is really dangerous, man. It's like you got the money, you made the money. Your grandmother's sick, you can't pay for it because they jerked you. That's right. Like that's an ideology that has to change. Also, you gotta remember this too. When you know you don't own your masters own you. You know, and it's a trick, that they played on us, man. Like so many guys jerked us in the game too. We're not even mad at them. We know this is where they hurt. I get it. You were told this is the only way. But what you don't understand, that's what I'm saying to black people, all people of color, white people too. White people went through it too. A lot of people don't understand the history of the Europeans too. The Europeans didn't have nothing in 1342. So when you see them with money, I'm happy for them.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because I know that when we had everything, we didn't act like we had everything. We was ready to give it away. Mm-hmm. So quick. The Spaniards was ready to kill us. We making food for them. I know the history. I read the books. Right. You know, I know when the bubonic plague came in 1342, they was dying. You know, I know how they smelled when they came off them ships. The Indians spoke about how they stunk, how they didn't wash. So you don't know the history, you know, you think, and then when they destroyed all of the black colleges, Timbuktu, and rewrote the history and sold it to you, and you bought it, you know, come on now. you know, I didn't buy it. I was like, I knew better. I knew better. I knew it wasn't that.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, everybody don't know that. And that's why I said when the people jerked us, our own people, I understand. They were told by their own people to do it because they believe what these Europeans said about them. Oh, y'all were savages. This is who y'all are. A king wouldn't do that. A person of rich spirit wouldn't take somebody, the peasants' money.
Right.
You would want them to, because I always think this way. If Black America shines, which is the lowest out of the cultures, if Black America shines, right?
Right.
Because they keep us down here. If they shine, then it speaks for everybody else.
I think someone that had almost like.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you're getting jerked by these people, what are you gonna what are you thinking of them? We ain't got it. As far as human evolution, we don't got it. That's what that means to me.
Right.
You know? So if they eating good, then everybody's like, okay, technology is serving itself good. And if you know you have technology, you know God's in the win. Because you can't do nothing without him.
Facts.
You know, can you imagine the first time someone seen a wheel? They were like, the wheel? We can't get, you know, we got an A, B, C, all the way to Z. We got that from the creator. We can count all the way from 1 to infinity because the creator. We couldn't have did that on our own. No way. Without divine intervention, we was in trouble. So my thing is, this is what I'm trying to do. I own 2 record labels that we own. We'll own the masters. I'm gonna come back out again with some, you know, music. It ain't gonna be ignorant music, but you're gonna be able to, you know, because I ain't trying to do that. I'm not trying to help them destroy us. I'm gonna do something, you know, positive music. And same with my kids. I'm on top of them. Oh, change that and this and that, because you know they want to still, you know, but whatever. I'm on top of it.
Right.
And I'm banging my head with Redman. Me and Redman, we sitting down, you know, because me and Redman are like brothers, even though we're not really brothers, but we're like real brothers, you know, and we have the same ideology, you know, in a lot of things. We're very much alike. You know, Reggie basically knows the level of my rabbit hole because I told him in the years how things were gonna go, and now he looks and he goes, "Wow," you know. I remember in one of the interviews he said, "Yeah, people talk to him, you know, he talks out of turn, but I speak in parables." He said, "But he knows what he's talking about." He said, "Because I witnessed it."
Right.
You know, when you're young, because I got him by a couple of years, and when you know, then it hits you. You're like, "Oh snap!" He knew what he was talking about. That builds confidence. You need that.
Right.
You know, because he's not sure neither. You know, you hear a lot of people when they see somebody with sense, they go like this.
Mm-hmm.
They're trained to do that too. When a person is talking real good, the naysayers come in, they're trained to do that.
Right.
Because if you do that, you diffuse it and nothing happens, and then you're happy. Nobody's on Front Street. But if it happens, the naysayers are not in the room to do this no more because that person done closed the door and they done moved on. There's 3 houses bought now.
Right. Wow.
So, you know, the naysayers come in the room as soon as they're not involved, and they, you know, these people keep everybody, and you listen, okay, then nothing happens. But if something does happen, the naysayers get left. People know, well, this nigga wasn't saying nothing. He wasn't on it. This guy was on it. Them numbers hit. They move on. Technology moves forward. So I'm one of those guys that's going to be on the brink of something great and something new and something that I can go back. You know, wouldn't it feel good if I create a business, right? And I can come back to the people in my neighborhood that went through all petty crimes and probably weren't educated, and I can help them. I'm not saying give them $1 million.
Right.
But I can affect change and help them. Why would I leave them in that condition if I can do better for myself and them and show them a better way and say, you know what, okay, you got to come to work 8 hours a day. At least you got a job. I'm going to help you though.
Right.
But if I don't see you doing anything, I'm not helping you. That's fair.
Yeah, that is.
You know, that's a fair assessment of it. And then when you do, if you go outside of the music and stuff, your words are true. Not just to them, to yourself. You know, I'm gonna say this too about Snoop. Snoop got a job and he went and put not C Style, the artist on the drew the album cover. I forgot his name, but real cool dude, man.
He drew the Doggy Style album cover.
Drew the Doggy Style album cover, just, you know, changed his life. You know, that was an epic conversation. That's what I'm trying to say about black culture. Joe Cool, shout out to Joe Cool, gave him a job to drew the album cover. Every 4 million people saw that drawing.
Right.
He owned that, you know. I mean, he can always make money off of that. He can always, you know, and then you know, just to see the blacks go like Dre did when Dre said, I love to see young blacks get money.
Yeah.
I embraced that. I embraced that. It felt good. To even go through with the danger part, to see that part, and I want to say Suge wasn't all bad neither. He wasn't. He spent $1 million to bail Snoop out.
Right.
Suge fed me, man. I'm in a breach of the contract, and he still fed my whole crew.
Come on, man.
I'm telling it like it is. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. Suge wasn't all bad. Suge was, you know what I mean? Sugar Bear took care of a lot of people. So we gotta, you know, we got, as black people, we gotta look at it for what it is and be like, come on now. Yeah, he wasn't all. The problem is we're not used to the money. And then when you got the money,
right,
and that power, then it's a little off balance. But that guy did a hell of a job getting Dre. If it wasn't for no Suge Knight, there would have been no Dr. Dre after Eazy-E. He would have never got out of Ruthless.
Right.
So you got to keep everything in the perspective that it is, you know?
You think that's why they get rid of guys, like they get them out the way, like your Suges, your Pacs, your people that really infect that change and really that you know, control the masses, where people really like paying attention, and they got to move though, because it seems like all the people that's like that seem uncontrollable and not wanting to move with the program, they have to get rid of them or get them out the way some type of way, from your experience.
But love conquers all. They all loved Ali though.
Right.
You know, like the way Ali to not the, you know, same subject. You see how Ali made it work? Ali used to go against white culture, but people don't realize Ali was a quarter white. His mother was Irish. People don't know his mother was an O'Grady before she married Cassius Marcellus Clay Sr. Her father was Irish. See, what's in his blood though, the fighting Irish. You see how he came out?
Mm-hmm.
He still had that special. He was special.
Yeah.
And he always uplifted black culture. So when you know, he affected change in so many ways. Here's a guy with he had barely a high school education and was the most famous face in the world because his heart, he was going to do the right thing. His heart made him who he was. He said another thing that was very smart. A rich heart makes a man rich in spirit. A poor heart makes a man poor, even if he's rich. His heart determines who he is. So even if I don't have no money, I'm still a rich king because my heart is for my people and my community and do the right thing. It's my heart that determines who I am, not my bank account. Because you will spend the money when you earn the money, and when you go to your heart, if your heart ain't there, that's who you are at the end of the day, what your heart represents, not your money. So today, I'm still a very rich man because of my heart and the way I think. And or God would have took me up out of here like he takes so many up there that are going to just waste time. God, get them out the way. We're going to do something great, you know what I'm saying? Because we're from a great people. And from a great people come great people.
Right.
Hurt people, hurt people, hurt people. Great people do great things for great people.
Right.
The
Right.
mathematics is all in there, and it doesn't lie. Math don't lie. 4 plus 4 is 8. You know what I'm saying? Math don't lie. 12 times 12, 144. It don't lie. The
Right.
numbers don't lie. So same in our case, in our case is the same thing. We come from these people. So a bad tree cannot produce good fruit.
X.
It's impossible. It's not in its DNA. Now, if the tree's bad, the fruit's gonna be bad.
Right.
We don't come from a tree like that. How can we bear that fruit? That's the problem with our people. They're still looking at it like they scrutinize and don't realize, but this not that kind of tree. This tree bears good fruit. If you understand the science behind that, you don't have to sit there and wait for something negative to come off the tree. It's not gonna happen.
Right.
It's not in the DNA. Move on.
Right. You think that what you're saying there, do you think that this is a spiritual battle that that's happening right now with this COVID thing and all this stuff being on the highest level like that? Because I just feel like it's so much stuff going on in the world at one time. It just if you're not strong mentally and spiritually and physically, it's this everything that's going on taking people out, man.
Yeah, I think it's a spiritual thing going on. I think that this disease was created. I don't think this was a mistake. I think this was created, but I think God's in control of all cases. I don't fear this disease.
Right.
I fear the Lord. I don't fear this disease. I think that it's going to have its hand, but it's not going to take God's people. It's going to clean up. It's going to backfire on the people that created it. And I think that God's people are going to stand strong, do anything. From when the locusts has come with the lion head eating people for 9 weeks, God's people are going to walk through that crowd. Right. I just believe that this is a trial of tribulation has to happen in the tribe. In these times of the biblical tribes and tribulation, this has to happen. Yeah. This is one of the plagues that has been cast down, and I think that this is the time for mankind to get right. Because if they don't, they're not going to be a part of anything that they has to offer. But see, here's a good thing too, that we bring this up. When Jesus died on the cross, technology boom was upon us. We didn't invent anything before that time. So somebody paid the price, and then evolution moved on, and we started to invent, and we started to grow. Right. So all of this is on point. This is on point in our faith, and also with the music. It said the stars will fall out the sky, and they will speak with two-edged swords out of their mouth. I believe that's hip hop.
Oh, wow.
When it spoke of that, and it spoke of that music of David, I think that's hip hop, and I think that the rapture is hip hop, because the rapture, we're in the midst of something going on. We can't put our hand on it. Right. We're seeing things in the sky, like the book said. There's things in the sky, because I've seen things I can't explain in the sky. But I'm going to say this too. I just hope all the good people make it out. I hope everybody stays focused on what this is, because the flesh is weak. We're going to have to go one day. Everybody has an expiration date here. But if we do what we got to do here, we'll get it for everlasting down the road. This is what we were told. This is what we believe in our faith. Right. So, I'm game. I'm game to play the game, because I came from somewhere and I'm going somewhere. Mm. When the doctor hit that and they woke me up on April 17th, where was I at a week before that? Oh, right. I came from somewhere. That's how I think. And I think that we're going to be successful though, because we got our feet planted to the ground. We got these young kids under our tutelage. First time the East Coast ever had young kids listen to their OGs in this form.
Right.
Something that we picked up from the West Coast that was very, very, very solid. They was listening to their older elders, and it made them wiser and better for it. You know, that's the key, man, because it's a circle. And we got Road Warrior Records coming out, www.roadwarriorrecords.net. Young Wolf's on there. Check out Gilla House because we got some stuff coming out on Gilla House too. But like I said, we gonna be doing grown people. We ain't gonna be on the record talking that crazy. Y'all got the burner. We ain't doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, let me say, it was cute when you were kids, and even I wasn't allowed to do it. I always had my articulate abilities. Well, I never talked about that in my record.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I give you a story, that was a little interesting and a little action packed, me, trying to get to school to graduate and the cops were chasing me. That was a little, edge of the seat to me, but gun and all that. Nah, I was raised by nuns. I ain't allowed to do that. I don't come from that. Yeah, I don't come from that. And I ain't going to shame them people that raised me. Dorothy Saunders, Miss Cook, Miss Nannery. I can see them now on a bullhorn. Come out here. I'll be like, man, coming out there, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like in trouble coming out there. You know how they grabbing your ear?
Yeah.
Because love is the biggest emotion in the world. You can't dodge love. Love is a very big emotion. It's the strongest one out of all the emotions. And yeah, they loved me. They gave me everything I had as a child, and I would give my life for them. So if I ever got into any situation and I heard those voices, I would be like, whoa. Can you imagine if God was in the room? But just without him in the room, just them in the room is enough for me, to be like, okay, I'm in trouble.
Right.
And let's get it together. So, but I had that. Everybody don't have that. Everybody didn't have those kind of people in their life.
Right.
I was fortunate to have those kind of people. I was fortunate to have Dorothy Saunders, Miss Nannery, Miss Cook, Miss Call, Tony Fortunato, Carol Fortunato, Guy Gunter, Vera Gunter, Uncle Frank Austin, Uncle Walter Lee. Uncle Walter Lee's daughter is Vernie Watson. They raised me. Uncle Honor Ernestine, she played the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's mother when the lady lost her job. She was the second mother.
Right.
She also played Freddie Boom Boom's girlfriend in Welcome Back, Carter. That's my aunt.
Wow.
Uncle Walter Lee's daughter. You know what I'm saying? I was, I needed a drum set. They bought it. I was right down there. I had good teachers. Sandy Kent, Bobby Kent. I had great people in my life that really loved me and gave me the undivided attention that a youth needed. And I still went to jail for beating somebody up which I, like my grandmother tells me, you was around those people and look what happened. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But I had great people. I had great coaches. And I thank God for them, the people he put in my life. I know there's a God, and I want to thank my mother for for always being in my corner too and being real with me, telling me the real. I'm gonna thank my sisters. I had a lot of great people in my life. I want to thank my father for the times I spent with him, the things I learned from my dad. I had a lot of great teachers, man, and great times with Parrish Smith. When I lived in Paris when I first got on, I am honored to be in the space with great people that did great things. But this is going to be the biggest one that we're going to do right now, because we're going to come back and we're going to represent like we're supposed to. We're going to show back up where we come from, look at them cataracts in those people's eyes, give them that medicine so they can get to the next, that's what it's about. And, and enjoy the music and make it about the music if it's that, but really it's about showing up and bringing that circle around. We didn't forget our people.
Right.
Bringing our circle around. That's what it's about. We didn't forget our people. We still going to show up and make sure you good. And if we get something more, we're going to create another opportunity to help them get some more.
Man, that's love, man.
What it's supposed to be about.
That's love.
And that's why we did. And that's why we did what we did to do that.
Right.
We didn't do that to
go. Things that I seen, man, was all of y'all on stage together at Versus, man. I thought that was so dope that all y'all came out there like that, man. That was dope.
Yeah, well, Reggie got a lot of brothers, man, and we showed up, and You know, what's special is that I think that that nucleus is special, and it's also it's magnetized when we're all together. The only ones that didn't show up was Das, but I want to shout them out. You know, like when you do that and you got that, you know, that's the nucleus. That's a very powerful nucleus. And you know, and here, man, you know, like I said, when I get it cracking, you know, I'm gonna always be pulling for that too, because the ones that don't know what to do, they're gonna let somebody take the steering wheel.
Right.
'Cause I know how to.
Right.
I know how to. I mean, you know, they don't know how to do it. It's cool, but I know how to. I know how to do that. I know how to spearhead that and get us cracking, man. Because yeah, we need that right now. And the hood, our neighborhood needs to see that right now.
Right.
You
Facts.
know, because when people see that, then they have hope too. We're
Right.
making it about ourselves, you know, and it's really not. You know, it's probably 5% about ourselves, but 95 is about other things. And
Fact.
yeah, it really is, because that's where the magic is. Even Einstein said it. He said, "In difficult opportunity lies opportunity."
Right.
So if there's a difficult scenario you're looking at, there's an opportunity there.
Right.
Einstein said it. You know, and I'm a philosopher on those things. I live off of those things. Do a lot of reading. Went back to school with Full Sail. Shout out to all my guys.
What?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Shout out to all my guys in Full Sail. Jason Assel, Phil Thorne. Well, Phil didn't go there, but Phil was hired there. Travis Dempsey was the professor. No, I'm just saying, prep loads of people. Shout out to J.R. Stewart. Like, all these people are in TV, marketing. They're doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? These are people with boots on the ground. Shout out to Scotty Esdale, the NAACP president of New Haven, Connecticut. That Light TV show, you know, everybody's coming together. They're doing something great in our community. And we're here to talk about it. We're here to bring the next generation in. I just hope Shani or more, my daughter's listening one day, you know what I'm saying? I hope you have the same kind of gathering I have, because without that, who are we? We need a community. And if we can't throw the ball to the next person, how you gonna win a Super Bowl? One plane ain't gonna win the war. It's
Right.
not gonna happen. You need a unit of people. You need to come home to something. You need to gas up. You're not gonna be the one getting out the plane, gassing your plane up. When you land, somebody's gonna be there and then fly you up. You know, it's like, and I need to have close conversation with them so they understand, because I don't know how long we're gonna be here.
Right.
We got to set the next ones up so they know what's going on and how to move. But in our culture, we got to also have conferences of the women always trying to like fight the man.
Right. Well, you know, I would love to get your perspective on that, Kay.
It's what they did to the women to soften up our scenario more, because the woman, our community, our Black community, the only community where the woman wants to fight a man and wants to challenge him. The Chinese women, they respect their man. The Italian women respect their man. The Irish women respect their man. You know, it's the Indian woman. All the other cultures respect them. The Black women want to fight the man. They want to challenge him.
Right.
And that's because they feel, I don't know if they feel that the European man outdid him or put him in a situation of where they think he's not what he's supposed to be. I don't know. I can't answer the question. I know what needs to happen though. They need to understand that he's the provider, and if you can maintain what he provides, you have something. And you know, if he can provide, you should maintain it.
Right.
And then, you know, then you got something. But you know, they're the only ones that, you know, fight their man. I ain't not saying not all of them, but a lot of them want to challenge the man. You
Do you
know,
think
they
that
want to challenge him. I mean,
that's
I got a sister who's married though. She's not doing that. She's letting her, you know, shout out to Earl and Selena. Like, Earl's definitely wisdom. You can tell. Earl is Guyanese. My sister's Bayesian, Native American, a little bit of Scottish, you know, but she follows her husband. And she should. You
right?
know, I see that, you know, because he's not used to For instance, dogs in the house. He didn't grow up like that, so they don't have no dogs. You could
Right.
tell he's leading the way.
Right.
That
Right.
should you his wife. You should follow your husband. She's not
Do you
challenging him and bringing dogs in the house.
you think that because they're polarizing. I interviewed a young lady, a younger artist, and I asked her a question. I was like, listen, I'm not tripping on, the Meg Stallions and Cardi B's and all these different people, but I was just asking her, as a female artist, is there another scenario? Because to me, they're all pushing this narrative of, get the bag and sex him if he breading you up and this, that, and the other, or whatever. And I was just asking her, was it, can we get something else? Is what I'm saying. Like, we had the Latifahs, we had the, what I'm just saying, can we push another message? Because we are damaging, in my opinion, the younger girls. And her answer was, well, the men been dogging the women out in rap for so long, and now I think it's the women time. That was her answer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But it's like I made my statement. It's like the only one in the culture that's dogging their men is the black women. They're not standing by them. They can get a check. They'll throw them in the street.
Right.
But they don't understand. This is why the world's tore up too, because a lot of them are in it and they don't have the man's disciplinary actions with the children. So the children are just running rapid. When a woman tells a kid something, the kid don't really have no. When the father tells a kid something, he steps to his business and handles it.
Right.
Because the father jump in his ass real quick.
That's a fact.
When the women, and this is why it's cutting them up too. Why they challenging him? Their children are just in the street and they're not going to be able to grow. They're not going to be able, because you're going to need two scenarios, right?
Right.
So the father's this side, the mother's this side. That's 360s, 180, 180. So without it, it's just going to be a C cup and it's going to go to nowhere. It's going to go to shit. It's going to go to hell in the handbag. See?
Right.
There's no other side. They bring it back around. So they better kill it quick, because if they can't see what's going on in their system and they can see how their youth is being not cultivated, and dying out here in the street and all of that. Not saying that it's a lot of people's fault that died, but remember, we would be in a better situation if we had union in the black culture.
Right. Facts. That's a fact.
It would just be a better situation, and it's not. It's turmoil, and the black man is on the endangered species list. He's not the king at home, and he goes out in the street, and it's worse. It's worse. Workplace, it's even worse. Right. And and then when he's out drinking and doing nothing, you wonder why.
We got an interesting question. Oh, we fell off again, y'all. Man, this thing is it's really getting good. Shout out to I Am Love. Shout out to the Decipher channel. Shout out to Vibe Show Cast. Shout out to Buddy the Barber. Shout out to everybody that's on the live showing so much love. I really appreciate y'all. I think K's gonna jump back on for the wrap up for us to wrap it up. I really thank y'all so much, and I really appreciate the OG on here really spitting some OG talk. We really took this a different place, and I really appreciate and value the conversation that we're having right now. I feel like it's necessary, and I feel like we're just not having these conversations, and these are the conversations that need to be had. So I definitely want to tell y'all that I really appreciate y'all pulling up and being patient with this whole situation. I know we got a late start, but this show would be nothing without the support of the people. So I just really appreciate and value every single person that always shows love to this brand and everything that we're doing. Shout out to the Vibe team. I definitely got to shout out my team because you guys really be holding it down, man. And the Vibe wouldn't be nothing without the team. We only as strong as the team. So I definitely want to send some love out to the team who consistent, man. I really appreciate that. I hope Kay can jump back on so we can wrap it up. This has really been a great interview, man. This one right here really I picked up a lot of good gems out of this amazing interview with K Solo. Really an OG and very woke out here, has experienced a lot, been in the game, been around a lot of people, man, and just to hear these stories and different things that he's sharing with us, I really value it and appreciate that so much. Hopefully he jumped back on so we can wrap it up or whatever. We definitely got to try to bring him on Vibe Talk. I really think that it will be an amazing episode, and I think that we're gonna try to bring him on. Maybe chapter 3, we'll try to bring him on because we try to do a man, and then we'll bring get the man's perspective, and then we try to bring our queens on to get the queen's perspective, and then we'll bring a man back on, and then we'll wrap it up with the queen. Kay's jumping back in right now. We got him coming back in right now. That's a blessing. Just waiting on him to get back on here. There he is, right there. We got him back in. There you go.
I couldn't hear. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear your vocals. Now I can hear you.
Okay. Perfect. So, what I wanted to is there anybody else that you want to give a shout out to and show some love, your supporters, your fans, your family, anybody that you want to shout out right now? Let's go on and give them their flowers right now.
Yeah, Phil Thorne, Ricky Kittles, Ralph Mann, R. Kim, Ralph Wheeler, Kathy Wheeler, Adrian Wheeler, the Brysons, all the Brysons, the whole Bryson family, the whole Cooper family, and my brothers and sisters, Ruth Madison, Selena, Therese, Daryl, the whole crew. And that's it, man. I'm just trying to do my thing. EPMD, shout out. They on the new Nas record, man. They sound good, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the whole team, man. DOS Effects, Keith Murray. Everybody keep your head up. I'm coming, man. And when I come, I'm bringing everybody, bro. My heart is big. I love everybody. And I want to see everybody do their thing.
Right. Definitely big shout out to Mad Money Mel, man. We gotta give
Money
a big
Mel,
shout
LA.
out.
Yo, Money Mel. Yo,
Uncle Mel showing so much love, man.
He was at death row with me the whole time, man. He come get us every day.
Come on,
Money
man.
Mel. Yeah, Money Mel's the truth. Money Mel, little Melvin Kelly. Melvin, Money Mel was with me when I met Norman Whitfield. He's the one that was kicking me like, you don't know who that is? I was like,
come on, man.
Yeah, Money Mel's the truth, bro. Shout out to who else? Steve Lobel, Maddie Fingers, Little Vic, R.A. the Rugged Man, Sinatra. Benny Sinatra's coming out, listen out. Young Wolf's coming out. Chris LaShawn's coming out. Adrian's coming out. Everybody listen out for them. These dudes is hot. Yo, Red Man, shout out to Gilla House, James Ellis, and Scotty Esdale Management.
Absolutely. Definitely big shout out to MDK Rockstar, man, doing some major things too, man. They doing some major things over there.
My nephew. Yes, sir. That's my nephew, Vaughn's cousin. Yeah. Vaughn love him.
Absolutely. Listen, man, you already know every time we chop it up, it's love. We got to do this thing in chapters. I gotta bring you back on here. Anything that we need to plug. I know you got some stuff cooking and coming. Anything that we need to plug in, let's go on and plug it and let people know what you got coming.
Young Wolf, we dropping that single. DJ Nasty's in the studio with him this week sometime. Listen out for Young Wolf. We call him Vaughn Wolf now because he ain't so young no more, but He's gonna be on Road Warrior Records. Y'all can check us out. We on www.roadwarriorrecords.net. You know what I'm saying? Check us out. And I'm K Solo, K Solo Wolfgang _ on my Instagram hookup. And like I said, man, we're gonna be talking to you, man, real soon with some heat. Listen out for us. Road Warriors is coming, baby, and the Spartan Academy too.
I need the music, man. You know I'm gonna put it in heavy rotation, baby.
I'm sending it to you.
Yes.
I'm sending it to you. We're gonna code it up and send it right out.
Yeah, man. I need that ASAP. Like anytime y'all dropping, I need it, man. Like I'm gonna put it straight in an A slot, and we're gonna have that thing.
Oh man, that's gonna be good. Yeah, Sam Snead's on there too. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great time.
Sam Snead on there?
Yeah, Sam Snead on there. He's still with us. Sam Snead's strong shout out to Sam Snead. He married the Brysons, man. Still family, bro. Everything comes full circle.
Wow. Are we ever gonna see a Hit Squad reunion, a Hit Squad album?
Well, I know that the Spartan Academy is coming, and I'm going to push the Hit Squad to do the same thing. But I would love to see it too. Me and Redman are waiting for it. We would love it. But me, we're working right now on Reggie's Muddy Waters too, and hopefully that comes off without a hitch. But like I said, we're still, anybody got heat, holla at me, man. I'm at www.roadwarrior.net. If you got some heat, I'd like to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because we listening. We always got our ear to the street.
Absolutely, man. Listen, you already know the vibes. It's nothing but major love, man. I got
Thank you so much.
You the OG, man. I love you, my brother, man. And for me, the Vibe team, Vibe Promotions, man, we just want to say thank you so much, and we wishing you more blessings and more success with everything that you're doing right now and everything that you're gonna be doing and blessing us with in the future, man.
Thank you so much. And listen up for that email. It's coming like in 2 days. I'm gonna hook it up for you. I promise.
Absolutely, man. Look, I'm definitely gonna hit you up. I'm gonna hit you up once everything get edited and processed, and I'm gonna shoot that over there to you too. I'm gonna hit you up though.
Yo, thank you so much, man. I love you, man, and I love talking to you, and I can't wait to do it again.
Absolutely. It's the Vibe Show 97.9 with my special guest, the one and only, the OG K.
The original
Solo, baby.
The original rap criminal.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to everybody that was on the live that showed my special guest so much love. Y'all are definitely the champions, man. We love y'all so much. This show would be nothing without the support of the people. Love y'all so much. Y'all take care of yourself. And always remember, just like the OG said, nothing is more powerful than love, man. We need to spread that love more.
That's right.
I'm Kano the Don, Vibe King.
Kano the Don.
We out of here.